Today let's have a look at something a little bit more exotic, looking at the New Zealand dollar Japanese yen forex pair. Um, Most people, I guess, like to trade the major markets, but you should never dismiss anything else, since a market is a market as long as it has enough liquidity, as long as there are enough people who are trading it. You do have the chance for major market moves, and anywhere you can get them, you don't want to miss them with appropriate risk. It is always nice to profit from a good trend. Let's have a look at what the New Zealand dollar yen is showing us on the overall trend situation. We're looking at the weekly chart, and when you start looking at this movement here on the right side, you can on the left side, I'm sorry, you can definitely make out a trending situation to the upside, and also a divergence has been created. Now, as I have posted on the gold analysis from the last weekly recap, I really tried to make a point there for the divergences and which divergences work and what you want to see for a divergence to really make the market turn around. And this New Zealand dollar yen chart shows this again. You get a divergence, a simple divergence between this high and this high. Prices has come to move higher here on the right of this divergence. However, the momentum indicator shows you that the hill is not higher. In between, you get a momentum turning from the positive side, which is the direction where it's headed when the market is moving in an uptrend, and it's actually turning to the other side of the zero line, which means that you get a major correction. Also, you have the momentum showing minor corrections where it does not go on the other side or to the other side of the balance, of this zero line. As the market keeps on moving higher, the momentum is not, but it's also not going below the zero line. If you have a combination of this type of major and minor corrections and you can spot a divergence, you want to have a look at trading this market to the other side. And I have marked this scenario here with this black line, which is your first fractal being hit, leading to this move to the downside, which has been a profitable undertaking. Price stops by creating this kind of bigger candle with a huge wick to the downside, and it stops exactly at where you find the previous support area. In this uptrend you get also corrections. This is a major correction, and wherever it stops and then resumes the previous trend, you get a very important support level, which the market will be looking for later on. And as you can see, this happened here exactly. Price bounces off this support, goes back into the balance zone, actually giving you a very small but still observable major correction, since you do have one of the momentum bars on the other side of the zero line. Right after this, you would be trying to trade this again, and you do get another fractal breakout at this area, at this point. However, this support that you get around the price of 74.50 is very, very strong. Price has been taken weeks to penetrate this. It has never really been successful, barely closing below it and then jumping right back up into the area of the balance zone, even though it is staying at its lower border. It is not trading right back into it, going higher, even breaking fractals. The balance zone does make for a very important resistance area now, and if you want to mark it by a black line here, this would be your resistance. So prices are trading in between this major support and this resistance, and it hasn't been until the very last week that we see a close below this support line, and as we keep hitting those fractals here and prices actually remaining lower and robustly staying lower, we do have a nice chance for a trend here. If we zoom out and look at this market with a little bit more of history, we can actually see that with the break of this black line and the breaking of those fractals right here, we do have a lot of space, a lot of room to or for this market to unfold a downtrend wherever it might end, maybe somewhere around those fractals. This would be a nice target area, even though as a trend trader we want to let it go, we want to let it run. As you can see when you look at the price tag here on the right side, 1,000 points, maybe even more, are possible in this trend. The momentum is on the correct side as well. Since we did have this major correction, it is quite possible that we get a new low in the momentum as well. Let's see how it goes. We would really need to see some pressure to the downside in order for that to happen. As soon as we see divergences forming with prices not really moving down, we want to get cautious, we want to trade tight stops, but for now this could be a good idea to get short on and hold on to it until price tells you otherwise.